not the real champion here. No! Push me! I want to fight!
The film begins with the bleak and desolate landscape of a Russian prison. Here, Yuri Boyka, once a renowned fighter feared by many, now lives in obscurity. His glory days long gone, he accepts his fate, performing menial janitorial work, no longer concerned with his illustrious past. While mopping the floor, Boyka hears the sound of cheering echoing throughout the prison. The inmates are hailing a new champion, Rutan Zhikov, a brutal fighter known for violently taking down his opponents in the ring. From a distance, Boyka quietly watches as Zhikov ruthlessly knocks out a challenger with his relentless fighting style. Among the spectators is Gaga, once Boyka's manager and promoter, who has now shifted his investment to Zhikov, placing all his hopes on the rise of a new force in the underground fighting world. As Gaga walks past Boyka, a few bills fall from his pocket and are handed to him. However, Boyka refuses to take them. He quietly returns to his cramped cell where he lives in solitude. There, Boyka takes out a Bible from his few belongings and begins to pray. The next day, during a meeting with his lawyer, Boyka receives devastating news. His appeal for a reduced sentence has been denied. Even worse, he won't be allowed to file another appeal for the next 15 years. The shock makes Boyka realize that his only chance to redeem the mistakes of his past lies in the ring, the very place that once led to his downfall. He begins an intense training regimen, pushing himself to rehabilitate his injured knee and regain the strength and conditioning that once made him a legend. Gaga later approaches Boyka with an offer of a better cell and a job in the library, as a gesture of gratitude for their past partnership. However, Boyka firmly refuses and insists on joining the prison's underground fighting tournament. Despite warnings from both Gaga and the warden that facing Zhikov while injured is a reckless move, Boyka remains unwavering. Finally, the fateful day arrives. After Zhikov secures yet another victory and Gaga celebrates, Boyka, now clean-shaven and having regained his fierce demeanor, steps out with confidence. Boldly, he throws water at Zhikov, announcing his return and challenging him to a fight, despite the warden's hesitation. Gaga supports Boyka's challenge, eager to see if he has truly returned to peak form. The fight is intense, with Zhikov launching a relentless assault, but Boyka stands his ground and fights back with resilience. The crowd erupts in cheers as Boyka secures a decisive victory, marking his triumphant return. This victory leads to Boyka being transferred to a maximum security prison in Georgia, known for housing the most dangerous criminals and top fighters from around the world. Here, inmates are specially trained for the Prison World Tournament, a brutal event where the ultimate prize is not just glory, but a chance at freedom. Upon arrival, the new inmates are lined up for inspection, a harsh reminder of the brutal reality that awaits them. Among them is Raul Quinones, a cartel boss from Colombia, unshackled and notorious for committing serious crimes such as murder and drug trafficking. The next day, the inmates are taken to a quarry for hard labor. Among them is Turbo Jones, a tough fighter from the United States. He quickly draws attention by openly refusing to work and deliberately provoking Boyka, who remains calm and does not react. In the gym, Turbo continues to taunt him, but Boyka still holds back his anger. Meanwhile, Raul quietly receives a box of performance-enhancing drugs from a guard and uses other inmates as punching bags during his training. As the underground tournament draws closer, a betting frenzy erupts, with wagers reaching into the millions of dollars. The competition officially kicks off with a match between Petros from Greece and Rodrigo from Brazil. Followed by a brutal showdown between Turbo and Andrew from Croatia, marking the beginning of a series of fierce battles to come. Finally, it's Boyka's turn to step into the ring, facing off against John from France. With a dominant performance, Boyka quickly secures a victory, marking an impressive comeback. Shortly after, Raul enters the ring to face an opponent from North Korea, under the close watch of Gaga and his associate Ferrati. The match ends quickly, but the more shocking revelation is the harsh truth. Defeated fighters are not returned to the prison as promised. They are silently executed. While the other inmates continue their grueling labor under the scorching sun at the quarry, Raul lounges comfortably in the shade under an umbrella, and Turbo remains arrogant, continuing to provoke Boyka. This time, he strikes first, pushing Boyka over the edge. A fierce brawl between the two erupts right in the camp. After the fight, the guards quickly intervene and throw both men into solitary confinement cramped cells so small they can't even sit down. From the adjacent cell, Turbo tries to call out to Boyka, but he remains silent, lost in thought and pain. Upon their release, both men are taken to meet with the tournament organizers. Razo reveals a plan to rig the fights, forcing them to lose and placing all bets on Raul. Though fearful and under pressure, Gaga and Ferrati reluctantly go along with the scheme. Amid the tense atmosphere, something unexpected happens. Turbo and Boyka begin to form a silent alliance. It is their shared pain and mutual pressure that forge a quiet bond between two men who once seemed like rivals. As they work, eat, and train together, the bond between Boyka and Turbo gradually strengthens. During one training session, Turbo notices Boyka's knee injury and offers him an herbal remedy. Boyka accepts and begins using it. In a quiet moment, Boyka notices the tattoo on Turbo's chest, a symbol representing his children. Turbo shares that his motivation to fight is simple yet deeply meaningful. He wants to reunite with his kids. When asked about his own goal, Boyka candidly replies that he needs to prove he's the best fighter in the world. Boyka's next match is against Rodrigo. Raul watches closely and quickly spots Boyka's weakness, then quietly slips away after the fight.
Good fight.
Meanwhile, Razo grows increasingly anxious about the possibility of being overthrown, so he devises a plan to ambush Turbo. Turbo is brutally attacked by guards, leaving him severely injured and nearly unable to continue in the tournament. The next morning, Boyka notices Turbo's absence and finds him lying motionless, covered in blood. Rage surges through him as he realizes the extent of the betrayal. Undeterred, Boyka continues training alone. Raul appears and mocks him for his past failures and current position. In response, Boyka becomes even more determined, vowing to defeat Raul and prove that he is the true champion. Both fighters train hard for the upcoming match. Although Boyka warns Turbo not to fight in his weakened condition, Turbo remains determined for the sake of his children. Realizing that escape is their only chance at survival, Boyka secretly uses a hammer to break Turbo's chains. When the guards discover them, Boyka bravely fights back and manages to grab the keys, helping Turbo break free. Other inmates join the uprising to aid Turbo's escape into the forest, while Boyka is captured and brought before the prison director, where he demands to see Gaga. Gaga reveals that he once bet Boyka would break his leg in the fight against Raul. Despite everything, Boyka remains determined to win. The intense final match begins, with all eyes on the ring. Though injured, Boyka wraps a cloth around his wounded leg and steps forward, giving everything he has in this decisive battle where pride, honor, and life itself are all on the line.
Boyka!
Immediately after the match, Gaga suffers millions in losses and, in a fit of rage, attacks the tournament organizer amid the chaos. Farnati accuses the prison director of betrayal, then kills Razzo when he shows up only to be eliminated by the warden moments later. The director then confronts Boyka, declaring that he will never leave the prison and blaming him for Turbo's escape. Calmly, Boyka responds that it doesn't matter because he's already proven he's the best fighter in the world. The director takes Boyka to a secluded spot for execution, but Turbo unexpectedly returns, killing the director and the guards, rescuing Boyka. Together, they make their escape. At the edge of the forest, Gaga is waiting. He hands Boyka a bag of money, admitting he had bet everything on him and acknowledging that Boyka is the strongest fighter in the world. Despite their injuries, Turbo and Boyka part ways with mutual respect, hinting at the possibility of a rematch in the future. Boyka walks off into the blazing red sunset, his body battered, but his soul redeemed and his purpose restored. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more summaries. See you next time, and have a great day.